Welcome to Combative Wing Chun, where we train, test, and adapt. Is Wing Chun dead? Does Wing Chun suck? I know, you're asking, why is a Wing Chun guy trying to say that Wing Chun doesn't work? Okay, well, before we go on, I know I'm going to get a lot of bad comments on both sides, okay? Wing Chun, people who love Wing Chun and people who hate Wing Chun. So before you start making any kind of comments, just hear me out for a second, all right? So my purpose of this video is not to bash anything, not to bash any Wing Chun, not to bash any other martial arts. I appreciate all martial arts and we can learn from every martial art. Every martial art has weaknesses and strengths, okay? Wing Chun is just like them. So my purpose is for you to analyze, hopefully from this video you will see and start to analyze your training and ask yourself, how can you make it better? How can you improve your training? How can you make it more effective? So that's the purpose of this. So I'm not here to say that something's better, we're better than other people, or other people are better than us, or I'm better, or it doesn't matter. Just forget about that, okay? Just try to be open-minded and to think, how can I, or how can you improve and better your training and your martial arts? So let's talk about some weaknesses of Wing Chun. And this is not actually just for Wing Chun, there's a lot of other martial arts that have these weaknesses too. So the first one is lack ground defense. So we're not talking about ground fighting, which is what you try to submit and trying to get positions and stuff like that, and stuff like staying on the ground and fighting. We're not talking about ground fighting. We're talking about ground defense, which means if you get on the ground, if you get tackled or you trip or you fall and you're on the ground, now what do you do? How do you get back up? How do you prevent somebody from kicking you in the face? How do you prevent someone from mounting you? If you do get mounted, how do you get up? Okay, so that's ground defense on the street because you don't want to stay on the ground when you're in a street fight. Now I know, like if your goal is just to do Wing Chun and do Chi Sao and get good at all the hand stuff, that's great. But you go in the street, pretty much every kid these days is taking MMA and they know how to do a takedown. That's one of the first things they learn. All right, so if you can't even handle a takedown, if you end up on the ground, you don't know what to do. If you don't have ground defense, how can you fight? Okay, so what is your goal? If your goal is to be good at fighting, self-defense, then why not have ground defense training, right? But if your goal is just to learn Wing Chun and just to do the hand stuff, then fine, just do that, okay? But I'm just saying, because we're combative Wing Chun, we want to learn in this school how to fight combatively using Wing Chun techniques. So one weakness is lacking ground defense. So what do we do about that? I'll let you decide what you think and what your suggestions are about this weakness in Wing Chun. The second weakness that I've seen in Wing Chun training is the lack of footwork. Now there is footwork in Wing Chun, but there's not enough emphasis on it. There's not enough training on how to use it for evasion, how to use it for flanking the opponent, how to use it for getting the better position. There's just not enough training. I'm not saying there's none, and some schools have really good training, but I've seen that most schools don't have enough of it. And why is footwork important? Well, if you're going to fight somebody, most people, boxers, kickboxers, one of the emphasis is footwork. Because without footwork, you're not going to be able to deliver strikes with power, and you're not going to be able to evade, and there's a lot of things you won't be able to do. A lot of times, people that have poor footwork, they end up just tripping on themselves when they start sparring, or in the worst situation, you're in a real fight, you just trip on yourself. All right. So lack of emphasis on footwork. There is footwork in Wing Chun, okay, don't get me wrong, but there's not enough training, not enough drills to improve the footwork. Okay, so that is one of the weaknesses I see. So tell me what you think about it, tell me what you think the solution would be, and let's move on. Here's the third weakness that I've seen in Wing Chun is training methods. Now, I've trained lots of different kinds of martial arts in different schools. I've trained Wing Chun, Tai Chi, Jeet Kune Do, Mantis, Kung Fu, Chinese traditional Kung Fu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I've trained military combatives with people from the military, people who are from US Special Forces, people from SWAT team, people from Army, police officers. I've trained in the same school as them, and sometimes I've trained with them for 14 days straight. So I have an experience with what it means to know realities of self-defense techniques. So what's missing in a lot of Wing Chun is that a lot of the techniques are not really applicable in self-defense situations. And also, a lot of the techniques that Wing Chun people are using are only working against other Wing Chun people in their class. So something's missing, isn't it? How come when a lot of Wing Chun people start fighting other people from other styles, a lot of the stuff doesn't work? So something's missing. What is that? Is it that they don't have enough experience with sparring with people from other styles other than from their own class? Do they don't have enough testing to see if their stuff works under pressure, under reality situations? So those are some things that I've seen. So tell me what you think about that. Tell me what you think some of these solutions could be for this weakness. All right, I know what you're thinking. We're talking about some weaknesses, but what about some strengths, right? So I need to be fair. Let me talk about some strengths of Wing Chun. Now, in a lot of Wing Chun schools, you will learn tactile sensitivity, which is really awesome because once you get to touch and feel the energy with your arms, then you don't need to see with your eyes. You can feel what's happening by closing your eyes, and a lot of people are really good at this. They can blindfold themselves and do chi sao, and they can fight even without looking. So that is one of the strengths of Wing Chun that I haven't seen matched by any other martial arts. Okay, the next one is it's very economical. It has economy of motion. You're using very small movements to save energy, and you want to go from point A to point B in the shortest time possible, which is a really, really good concept in Wing Chun. So you save time and you fight faster and more effectively and efficiently than the other person. Okay, so that's a really good strength in Wing Chun. The third really good strength is forward intent. In Wing Chun, a lot of the techniques work really well when you just go in there. There's a situation, you just go and charge in, and you use that forward energy to overwhelm your attacker. Very useful skill to have to overcome your fear and to attack the attack, right? A lot of times your hesitation and your fear will get you killed. So this training, the forward intent and forward pressure, will help you win a lot of fights just by itself. And it's a really good good philosophy to have in life too, is to attack your problems and attack whatever's attacking you. It's one philosophy that really works. So these are three strengths and that I've seen in Wing Chun. So what do you think about them and how can you improve on them? So I've shared with you some weaknesses and some strengths in Wing Chun, and some of these you may find in other martial arts. Like I said, this video is not to disrespect any school or disrespect anybody's training methods. These are things just I've personally seen are evident in a lot of Wing Chun training. So I hope that this helps you. And the reason that we do this is our model here, one of the models here at the Combative Wing Chun is train, test, and adapt. You need to practice first, train the technique, then test it out to see if it works, then adapt, change it. If it doesn't work, then change it. If it works, keep going with it. So don't get stuck into one frame of mind and get stuck in your life. A lot of the things that you learn in martial arts you can apply to life. So one of the worst things you can do to yourself is to make yourself stuck. And a lot of people are mentally stuck in their life, in their jobs, in their careers, in their relationships. They're stuck because they don't change. You don't test. And when you do test and they fail, you don't adapt. You don't change. You're not trying to analyze and see what's working, what's not. So that's one of the keys to success. You need to test and adapt. Okay, and get good at whatever you train, right? You need to get good at what you do too. Okay, so that is one of our main philosophies at Combative Wing Chun. Train, test, and adapt. So I hope that this video helps you out, helps you open your mind a little bit, start thinking about your own training, about things that you can improve, and start analyzing them, without any other people's opinions. Just figure this out on your own. You don't need to listen to me. You don't need to listen to anybody else. Just sit down and think about it yourself and analyze it yourself. Okay, so tell me what you think about this. Tell me what your comments are. What do you think can improve your own training or Wing Chun in general. So hope you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you soon.